You ever thought that wine would pair well with music? Welcome to House UnCorked, a full, rich, flavored series of podcasts that are all about sharing a story, opinions on wine choices, and pairing that vibe with a live house music set. It's fun, real, raw, and positive conversations between wine pairing and house music. Now, join DJ Dave right now for this week's episode of House UnCorked.
Okay, everybody, welcome to episode 5 of House UnCorked. We have a special guest tonight, a good friend of mine, and DJ producer Ty Jackman Jones. Appreciate you coming down to my studio tonight.
Hey, I have been wanting to get on the show since the beginning, so I am very happy to be here, and congratulations on a season 2.
Thank you very much. And we talked about getting you on board here and saying, okay, you know what, I gotta get you on here, talk about your story, because we all have great stories, and being different about our episodes and sharing different stories is what keeps this podcast different and interesting, let's say, okay? Because we had all of our guests have been fantastic. So Ty, you're from Toronto.
Well, actually born in Montreal, but I've been in Toronto since 2001.
So you're not a Habs fan, are you?
Oh boy, you know what?
You're gonna get all those haters online. They're gonna tell you.
Okay. Now hold on. I'm not much into hockey. The only time I was really into hockey when I was living in Ottawa, and I was a Senators fan when they first came back in the '90s.
Gotcha.
But I'm not into hockey that much anymore. So I don't want to disappoint our Leafs fans or loyal Leaf fans and the Habs fans and the loyal Senators fans. So
it's okay. It's all good, man. Yeah. It's all good. I'm not going to try to make this a touchy subject at all. I wanted just to basically see where you're from.
Yeah.
Now you got into music at what age?
Oh geez.
How did you was your parents into it?
Yeah, my parents were heavily into music.
Okay.
They literally instilled music into me and my brother pretty much, I think, by the time we were born, actually.
Gotcha.
My dad was into just about everything from jazz to rock and roll to, you know what, my mom was into the same thing.
Right.
So it was like almost every Sunday night they would just put records on. It didn't matter whether it was Pink Floyd or Janis Joplin or Jimi Hendrix,
right? Or
it could be, back in the 80s, it could have been a Prince record. My dad was heavily into Prince.
Nice.
And all that. It was just, that was the early stages, I would have to say,
right,
of how music has been a huge part of my life.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I was the same way. And my parents were more into the Italian music, and so they didn't really have. They had the odd disco, so I went and bought all the records, and we'd have this big record player, and that's where I got into playing records. And I'm sure you're the same way. You just grab some of the records, put it on.
Oh yeah.
And that's I'm going to take it that's how you started in DJing, or you got started into this.
Okay, well, I'll tell you how I got into it.
Right.
But we'll go back even further. When I started buying some of my own records, I started getting into more of the 80s pops thing and some other stuff and what have you. And then when I went to tapes, and for those of you who are young people, we had cassette tapes. And even back then, there were the 8-track tapes as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then CDs came about, and I started just buying up CDs like crazy. I used to have a massive CD collection.
Nice.
And even the maxi CDs, the hard-to-find single ones as well. I used to pride myself in that until someone stole all my stuff. But anyways, but that's it happens. But how I got into DJing, I actually used to be the guy that would go into clubs. I would still dance in the dance floor, but I'd actually start hanging around with the DJs and stuff like that. So I got to know a lot of my friends back in the day. I'm still friends with them, are DJs. And then in 2007, when I was in the salsa scene, which I know we'll get into later on,
sure,
I met this guy by the name of DJ Duck, and he had been DJing long before I got into the whole thing.
Gotcha.
And how I met him was the salsa parties I used to go to with Toronto Dance Salsa. They play more traditional salsa, bachata, whatever. But he was playing a merengue song that was a Little John remix, and I was like, okay, this is weird. I've never heard that. We don't play this here. So I went upstairs to find out who it was, and it was him. And I was like, dude, I'm loving this stuff.
Right.
Because we don't normally play. They don't normally play this, right?
Yes.
So we became real good friends, and we started to talk about certain things. He was interested in dance. I was in the dance scene at the time, and we had musical tastes that were very, very similar.
Right.
So around 2009, I started emceeing for some of the parties he was doing.
Right.
And my first ever gig, and I wasn't even officially getting into DJing at the time.
Right.
We did this house party where the birthday boy was so drunk he knocked over this hard drive that was like 2 terabytes.
Jesus.
All the information gone.
All the music
gone. He was so distraught. I had my own laptop, and I had this MP3 player, which I still have from Samsung, 500 and something songs. I had to take over the entire night, and I did not know what I was doing. I was just playing one song.
Thrown into the fire.
I was thrown. It was like baptism by fire. So I discovered, you know what? Maybe I could do this. So Christmas Eve on that year,
right.
I had a conversation with him in the car, and I said, maybe I want to try this. I want to make this my New Year's resolution. He says, okay, if you're serious about it, I'll teach you some things, which he did. And then I started learning off of vinyl at the Scratch Lab, which I think is still in Scarborough now.
Okay.
Not Scarborough, sorry, East York.
Okay.
I think it's East York. And I started in 2000. I started like 10 years ago, like when I was like 38.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't
start. You didn't start when you were like, Yeah,
I didn't start when I was young. I started late in my in my years.
Right.
And
that's fine.
Yeah, and it's been like there's times where I do think, man, I wish I would have done this in my 20s. Right. But at the same time, I don't regret starting at 38.
Absolutely
it's been
not.
10 years now, and I'm still doing it.
Perfect.
Right? I'm still doing it.
And I think that's what it doesn't matter what age it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I was the same way. I started in my 20s, late 20s, and then I stopped. But then I got back into it when I was 40, because your friends turn 40 and they're like, hey, listen, let's play a party, whatever, right? So that's how I got back into it. But, and to go into, you brought up a lot of the bachata and the salsa and so forth. And back in those days, it was almost like house is now, like a lot of undergrounds.
Yeah.
There was never like with me anyways, I would never know where there was a salsa club or a place that was going to have some Latin dancing,
Yeah.
And I know the ladies love the Latin dancing.
Yes,
I know they
do.
love that
Absolutely,
stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I never really knew that there was any clubs like that for those types of things. So to hear about it, what made you get into this? Is it because the mentor you had that you did some work for with DJ Duck, was he into that, or how did you get into that scene?
So I was dared to do it.
You were dared to do this?
I was dared. Friend of mine from Ottawa, at the time I was a big hip hop and R&B head.
Right.
And he dared me to. I said, just come to this place with me and just try it out.
Right.
I said, okay, we'll go.
Right.
We'll go. It was a place called La Isla. It's not there anymore. I think it's named something else.
Okay.
And I didn't learn salsa that night, but I learned bachata.
And so what is the difference?
Okay, so salsa is forced. They're both forced. No. Yeah, they're both 4 steps, except if you listen to salsa, I would have to go with BPM range. The BPM range is usually between 90 and 100, maybe 110 or something like that.
Okay.
Bachata is a little bit faster, but it's still more of it's like a really fast R&B slow jam in a way. Because of the way the beats are. And with salsa, it can be either it's more of a linear dance going sort of vertically.
Right.
And bachata is a little bit more horizontal. But you can also do a circular type motion, because there's different styles of salsa and there's different styles of bachata as well.
Right. Okay.
I learned the On One style. There's also the Los Angeles style. There's also the New York style. There's also the Cuban style. There's also a Dominican style, from what I understand, and depends on the country where you go to.
So there's quite a bit of variety.
Yes, there's quite a bit of variety.
And then can these style of dances, can they be done without a partner, or does it have to be with a partner? Like, can you dance?
It's best to do it with a partner, but I've seen people dance by themselves.
Right.
And there's been performers who do go to these conventions that do demonstrations or performances by themselves as well. Okay. And some of the stuff they do on stage is amazing.
Listen, I watched some of the videos, and that's what I like about it, is because you tell me about back then your stories about it, that you watch some YouTubes or just feeds that come onto my Facebook and my social media of the salsa dancing or bachata or just like merengue or whatever it may be. Yeah, it is getting back into it. There's the scenes are coming back.
Yes, they are.
And the DJs. Honestly, I don't know, and I've been around a lot of DJs. I don't know a single Latin DJ that just plays Latin music. Is it only a specialty type of? Obviously you have to have connections to get the new style of all the music, and I get it, right? I mean, music is music. If you can wow the crowd with your style of mixing, anybody can do it. But I mean, is there just specific DJs that are hired for these type of events?
Yeah, Duck has been heavily into it for the longest time now. Okay. Another one of my mentors, George Amaro, he goes by the name of DJ El Romantico. Okay. He's been doing it for 40 years now.
Nice.
And he pretty much knows almost every genre, you could ask him, where does this song come from, and tell you, it came from Portugal, or it came from Spain, it came from Italy, it came from Honduras, or whatever.
Right.
I mean, his musical knowledge is unbelievable, and he
knows where to find the music.
He knows where to find the music, right? And he just knows how to get the people going and whatever.
That's all it takes. I mean, that's and with me as a DJ as well, and we both can relate that. I love the R&B, I love the hip hop, I love the old school, the house music. Latin music, and I know you've been to a party of mine at the Drake.
Yes.
So I play a different style. Depends on the crowd. Okay, depends on the crowd, and we all enjoy whatever the crowd feels and wants. You're gonna play it.
Yes.
But if you're at a salsa bar, and like what kind of crowd? Like, I mean, it's hard to say it, but. Do you find that when you were back then in the scene, people that were not normally into that music or into that would still come into the clubs and hang out and still try to enjoy the music?
Yes.
Of the vibe, let's say, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the same people, same culture of people, same parts of the town being there every single Friday, Saturday. Like, you get different people coming through.
Yeah. One of the first place in terms of clubs where I played was Alley Cats, and they have a Monday night and a Tuesday night. They used to only have Monday nights there, and it's been going on for almost 15, 20 years.
Right.
And they would have people come in and try and take the lessons, and then they would try to dance, and people would leave early because it's a Monday night, but still, you'd have different people that would come in. You still had your regulars, but you'd have different people coming in.
Okay.
And 6 Degrees was another one, which is no longer there. Yeah. It used to be Berlin.
Okay.
It used to be Berlin, and they changed 6 Degrees, and then those same guys went to One Loft. They're the same guys who went One Loft, and now it's I think it's the same guys. It's now United People Sound Bar, I think. I'm not quite.
I think
sure.
you might be right, because I mean, remember or was it? You know what? There's so many clubs out there that have come and gone.
Yeah.
And people of our househead community are trying to get back into it.
Yeah.
I think Nick Fiorucci is One Loft. I think the Lobby. He has the Lobby.
Yeah, that's actually his.
That's his.
That's his place. Yeah.
The Loft. Yes, I think now it's the United People
Sound Bar. Yeah.
So they're all coming back, and I get it. And hats to those guys that want to have these clubs open, because it's such a different. It's a house music, to have a business of just house music, to grab the DJs, to people to come on board. It's a tough business.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of promotions, takes a lot of networking, a lot of branding, right? So when you're getting back into the salsa scene, did you get into the DJing in the salsa scene, or are you just more of the people?
I did more of the dancing at first,
right?
And then this is a story a lot of people don't know. I actually used to have a Facebook group called the Salsa G's with 3 G's.
With 3 G's.
With 3 G's. And what I used to do is I used to get all these notices on Facebook of all these different places that had their own nights.
Nice.
Or a group would have their own night, or they were doing lessons or something.
Right.
So I take all these and I would do emails, I think twice a week, and just send it out to everybody and have people tell me, oh, I didn't know this was going on. Thank you for telling me that, right? Then I turned it into a website.
Yeah.
But then the people I was with, Duck and a few others, we all called ourselves the Salsa G's because we were going out, and we were going out like 5, 6, 7 days a week doing this, right? Just promoting the genre, right? Just promoting salsa and bachata, and we want people to come in. There was people coming in all the time wanting to learn. But it was, at the time, it was really, really great to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And eventually, when I became a DJ, I started doing that, and we started doing our own parties and stuff, and what have you. And then in 2015, while I sort of made switches in DJing, which we'll get to later, 2015, I decided to just get out of it and focus mostly on DJing and music and stuff like that, because I just really couldn't do both. As a matter of fact, I tried to get back in part-time, but because of so much stuff going on right now, I'm not having to do the part-time thing at this point.
It's a tough, listen, it's tough. I mean, we stretch ourselves like right to the max with branding, promoting. In some cases, in that with very little, outcome. But we still do it. We still love doing it. We still enjoy letting people know where we're at, the music we're playing, the bars we're at. You promote a lot of DJs and their sets through your personal site. And I appreciate the support on House Music Radio, which you have a live set every Sunday nights at from 8 till 9. No, 9 till 10.
9 till 10,
9 till 10. So the Groove Station, and he mixes a nice set with a lot of DJs from around the world that he gets tracks from.
Absolutely,
And your last set had a Mexican DJ, correct?
Derek DeHouse, yes. This guy does soulful house, deep house, garage, underground, like everything. Like his tracks are like, he's been signed to so many different labels. He's still a young guy too. I think he
looks young.
I think he's in his. I would be,
in his
could
20s?
Be wrong. I think he's in his mid-20s, but he's got talent upon stage, and he's one of the chillest guys out there.
Yeah.
Like I asked him. I said, "Listen, man, I love your music and I love your mixes.
Right?
Would you contribute a mix to the Groove Station?" Oh yes, I would absolutely love to. And
nice.
He did that, and the mix was exclusive to the Groove Station.
Right.
And I just posted that tonight, as a matter of fact, just before I came here on my Mixcloud. So we've been getting him. I've gotten people from the UK. I had Tony Fuel, my first guest from Minneapolis, who's doing a tremendous amount of stuff right now with Pogo House. We're going to be bringing Chasm back. Those two guys, they're actually going to be doing a mix for me together.
Nice.
The next one is going to be Cisad Boogie from Chicago, and they're friends with Chasm.
Gotcha.
She's friends with Chasm, and she is an amazing DJ, but she's also a dancer too, by the way.
Gotcha.
So, and I talked to Cole Lawton tonight as well too, and I said, "Listen, would you like to contribute as well?" I said, "Yeah, I'll send you a mix."
You know what? You've connected with the right people.
Yes.
Cole Lawton, I featured his track 2 weeks ago, which was great. Great guy, good supporter of our House Music Radio.
Yes.
From the UK.
Yeah.
Chasm, those two guys from Chicago.
Oh, I love those guys.
I had the pleasure of meeting them at the control room.
Yeah, Detroit versus Chicago. That was so much fun.
We had Trickster there. We had Zoe there.
One of my favorite people.
You know what? I'm telling you, and I missed on Saturday the girls. Was it the sister? What was the
girls just want to have fun?
That's right. So
that was a very good event too. It was really good.
I wanted to head out there. It's just I'm pulled in 1,000 directions, and I wanted to be there to see. I came down to see her on Sunday, which is when she was at.
Yes,
Baseline.
I heard when she was at Baseline. Yeah.
Okay, so then I saw Gene and I saw Arcadia. They came down.
Yeah.
So I hung with them, and so she did a great set. So to get back into in what you're doing, you'll hear the background.
Actually, I do hear it right now.
Okay, you hear the background.
Yeah.
DJ Melanie S. She did a set for me way back when. So I think it's a couple of years old, this set. But it's going along with the theme of our Afro, Salsa, Latin house music style, which at the end of this podcast I'll be spinning a live set for you.
Yep.
And you guys stay tuned for that. I've got Melanie. Her set's in the background. What you hear in the background right now, just playing in the background. And Tina was the one who mentioned about big ups to Tina. She's the one. She said, "Hey, you should have some music in the background just so people can listen."
Yes.
You know, I thought, why not? Gavin, you're in the house tonight. Gavin, good to see you.
Big up, Gavin.
Yeah, man. So I'm glad you're online here.
Big up, Gavin. Big up, Melanie too. That's my partner, man. She's one of my favorite people.
Unbelievable. The mad respect I have for everyone that's in this house community is great.
Yeah.
So to get back into your promotions, your business, you also produce music.
Yes.
And you have a track that you just, or two tracks you just brought out.
Yes.
So your first track that you brought out was Bounce to This.
Yes.
Featuring Chris Hercules. Explain that type of track for us.
So that track I started 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I just left it on the back burner till last year.
Isn't that how most projects are?
Yes.
Though? You know,
I'm actually
my brother-in-law who does woodwork and photography. He can relate to that. Starting one thing and wait.
Yeah, I'm actually going through my stuff right now to look to see what I have or have not done, and revamp that stuff as well. I started 2 years ago, and I used if you know the Freemasons.
That's a religion, isn't it?
No. This is a group of guys. They've been doing music for a long time. It's mostly house and disco.
Okay, so I don't want them to hate me now because
no.
it's a religion.
It's not. No,
there is a Masons though, isn't it? Like
yes, but it's not them. No,
all right,
these guys are from the UK. They have sample packs called F9.
All right.
And I used a lot of their stuff and put my own beat into it, my own spin into it.
Okay.
But I felt there needed to be something different, and I've known Chris Hercules for a while now, and he does what's called spoken word. And I talked to him. I said, "Do you mind? You want to?" Because he's a house head. I said, "Would you like to put something on there?" And he said, "Absolutely." So he came up with his stuff.
Yeah.
And we went to a studio on DuPont Street. I can't remember the name of it. And we laid down the lyrics, and then I had it. On post production, but the thing was last year, and I want to get into this a little bit. I was also pulled in different directions.
Right.
I didn't have anywhere I was going, and also my job wasn't the greatest. I was coming home with massive plant-sized headaches. Till November came around, I switched jobs. Then now my focus was
on music
and everything else.
Right.
And I was doing a lot of events too, which I'm going to promote later on. But anyways, so with this track, it's all about moving on.
Okay.
It's all about you have the power to move on, if something or to change something.
Right.
That's what this track is all about. If you listen to the lyrics from Chris there, and that's basically what it is. I actually used that motivation to change up my thing right now, back in November, and now things have been looking up since then. I wanted to make sure 2020 was going to be different from 19, 18, 17,
and it is.
16,
It will be, man. It will be.
And now, and it is for me now. So, I say to everybody, like, if you have a situation that you're not pleased with, change it.
Right.
Just do what you got to do to change it. And that's what this song is all about. It's all about
awesome.
About moving on and changing something and moving forward.
So it actually could mean a lot of things. It could mean, like I'd had my guest last week, Joey D, about mental health. So it's just emotional how you can, and that can relate to it. Being just moving on, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's by yourself, down and out, things like that. So I guess it could, and I heard the track. It's awesome. It's out on TrackSource right now.
It's everywhere now. TrackSource, Beatport, Apple, and Spotify right now.
Awesome, awesome. Listen, I mean that. I got about 5 minutes. I want to talk about because we can talk forever.
Yes.
And listen, I appreciate you coming on board tonight. It's great to have fantastic people with their stories about music, and that's what it's about. It's about music. Just like I preach about it, just raw talk, real talk. Yeah. And when I said to you, listen, I'm going to send you something online where we can talk about stuff, and and I didn't. I thought we're just going to fucking wing it.
No, just wing it. Yeah.
And it's like we talk about it, and it's like, we have a couple points here we're going to talk about. But I am going to give away. I got a great prize pack from JRP. Big ups to JRP in Mississauga. They are in the automotive world of performance tuning and so forth. So they gave me a great swag bag with hats, shirts, and so forth. And I said I'm going to give it to I gave it to the person that's registered or has said it was going on the event tonight. And this person that's going to win tonight is a guy from Hamilton. And big up to Chris Sakai, who's a awesome DJ. Chris, you won that prize pack tonight. I got a great something for you on that, and I appreciate your support in the house music community. We are all together. We are all one big family. Chris, I'll get in touch with you about that prize pack. Appreciate that. We also have we're enjoying this wine tonight.
Oh, this is great wine.
Great wine. The Pedras de Monte. It's a Portuguese wine. It's a Cab Sav. You can drink it on its own. Or you can have it with your food. LCBO, $10.95. I'm going to have it on my podcast. We're going to have all the links to this great wine. It's got a hint of oak, cherry, a lot of fruits in it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a little heavy wine, but you know what? It's a great wine to sip. It's not that bad. It's smooth. I know I can drink it all night, and I know that Ty's got to drive home, so I got he's.
I'm taking very tiny sips here. That's why I've been eating the pretzels so I can counteract that.
There you go. There's pretzels, there's liquor. We're all loaded up here.
Yeah.
Listen, we've got so much to talk about, and I'm gonna post up his links to his music on TrackSource up on my website and my podcast at the end. We'll have it all on there, and you need to connect with Ty, Jackman Jones. You need to connect with him on Twitter, Facebook.
Actually, I'm on Twitter.
Okay, so forget Twitter.
Facebook,
Instagram, or Facebook. Tell them your handles on both.
So Facebook and Instagram is Jackman Jones 2018. The reason why it's that is because that's where I started the name Jackman Jones 2018, January 2018. Because I was Mr. T Dot for 8 years. And I've had so many people tell me, you need to change your name. But the name just came to me. I was in Mississauga at Square One and the store Jack Jones. It just hit me. I kept thinking about it. That's my name, Jackman Jones.
Jackman Jones.
Yes.
There you go. So you know what? I love knowing about how they came around, how their names came about, their stories, and that's what it's all about today. It's all about knowing about my guest, knowing about music, how they got in the music industry, and how they started. You know, he's a big house guy. He's with me with the House Music Festival.
Yes, absolutely.
The Toronto House Music Festival, which is something that we can always talk about. It's coming.
Yes.
Okay. June 2020. Like I said, the dates are like I'm crossing my fingers, man. I'm crossing my fingers. So it's gonna come.
Yes.
And it's gonna happen. So Ty's a big part of my team, big part of the music festival. We're gonna make this a showstopper that no one's ever gonna forget about it.
Yes, absolutely. It's gonna be wicked.
And his passion for music, his passion for the festival, that's why I put him on my team. We have great team members on our team.
Yes.
Great DJs on board, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to put on a live. I'm going to mix a nice house set for you, and Ty's going to sip his wine while I play this music.
Yes.
And guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. And any last words, Ty? Jackman, you want to go through and say anything last words?
Okay, so you mentioned the Groove Station. The Groove Station's on Sunday nights, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for those of you in the UK, it's about 2 in the morning. So if you can stay up that late, which some people do, which I appreciate, thank you very much. But you can also find it on my Mixcloud, mixcloud.com/JackmanJonesMusic. You can go through all the episodes all the way down to number 1, and I've got some mixes I did as well too, and what have you. Also, this Friday night at Control Room, the return of Nothing But a House Party, myself, Zoe Thorne, Detroit Trickster, another one of my favorite people, and special guest Brock Edwards, who is all over the place with the music right now. He's on just about every. He has his own label right now called Dub City Tracks. He's on Bad Look. He's on Pogo House, Smashing Tracks. You name it, he's on it. I just talked to him today. He's like telling me I'm stoked to come to Control Room and do my thing. And it's been a while since he's been there, so this is the first time we're having this gentleman of his caliber coming to a small little thing like this. So and I love to big up to Hubert.
Man.
Hubert's the man right now. So
I tell you, he is. He is, and I played there back in 2015. I did a set there.
Yeah.
And big ups to Hubert, man. This guy, he lets. I mean, he doesn't let just anybody, but he knows who's going to be there and what to play, and he's got the right atmosphere.
Yes,
absolutely. You would never know this little studio existed in the Junction in Toronto.
Yeah.
And it's a cool spot. Big ups to the Control Room. Jackman, I appreciate you coming on board tonight, man.
Oh, I did want to mention one other thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Saturday, April 11th. That's my birthday.
Hey.
We're doing a little
You're
something.
An Aries.
Yes, I'm an Aries.
Aries, and an Aries, man.
Yes.
We're all Aries.
Aries rule. Do not get it twisted. That's just the way it is. Thank you very much. Enough said. Now, myself and Melanie will be playing for the first time in like over a year.
Right.
We're going to be doing a theme called, it's at a place called Free Play, which is on College Street. Actually, not just maybe a few doors down from United People Sound Bar.
Yeah.
And it's going to be called Breaking, so we're going to be celebrating the movie Breaking from back in the
That breakdancing movie is one of my favorite movies back then when
and,
breakdancing came out.
I'm probably going to be dressed up for that. I'm not quite sure. We'll see.
You've got some tearaway pants that you're going to put on there or what?
I've got some kind of pants. I just got to find the rest of the outfit.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing some funk, some soul, some freestyle.
Right.
You know, we're going to go right back into the 80s and maybe some 90s and whatever. But
okay.
It's $10 to get in.
Nice.
And it's a retro bar, so there's all kinds of arcade games, retro arcade games.
Right.
The cover, $10, covers unlimited play. And there is, of course, if you guys want to drink, there's alcohol. Please don't drink and drive.
Right.
And, of course, there is a menu there as well. They even have a section on the upstairs where you can watch old VHS movies as well.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been there a couple of times. Melanie actually played there in Valentine's Day.
She did Pretty in Pink, I believe it was.
Yeah, Pretty in Pink.
Right.
And it was really good. So we're going to be hooking up for the first time in over a year.
Well, I'm going to head out there for sure and see it for sure. I mean, the old arcade is where we started all the, it was fantastic.
Yes.
Well, that's great, man. So April 11th, Saturday.
Yes.
We'll make sure we're out there and listen, guys. I appreciate you tuning into the podcast. It is a live podcast, live recording. It's up on Spotify probably by tomorrow next day. Spotify, Google Play Music, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio. It's all over the place.
Yes.
So we are. I'm going to be playing a live set for you right now. So I appreciate Jackman. Thanks for coming down tonight.
Yes, and I'd love to do this again, man.
You will be back on board. We'll do
again.
a lot of follow-ups. And
love the show too. I've been watching since the beginning.
Thanks, man.
Amazing show, especially last week's show. Very inspirational. If you guys haven't watched it, check this out. But also check the show out too.
No, of course. every show's been
check out every show.
It's been great, but you know what? And it's like, but the last week's show, yes. I mean, very inspirational, very down to earth guy. He is going to make a difference in the mental health world, and we're huge advocates of mental health awareness.
Oh yes, absolutely. That was another thing that I had a problem with because last year with my previous job, I was coming home stressed every day, and I had to do something.
You have to. You can't be like that, man.
I couldn't be like that. Now I'm not like that anymore.
Good.
I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm happier, but I'm more. I have more energy. I feel like my old self.
You're in a different place.
I'm in a different place now.
And you built that track. Bounce This, which is about moving on.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm sure that all ties in what you were.
Yes.
And how you felt, which is great.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, I appreciate coming on. The wine's been great. The company's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some. We're gonna still keep this Latin vibe going. Melanie, loved your set. I got played in the background just to keep the air flowing with some good music. I've got some new Latin house music they're gonna play for you right now, and just give us a minute, and we're gonna be back online. We're gonna still be live here, so grab a glass of wine, grab your drinks, grab whatever you want, grab a person beside you. I don't care what it is, and I'm gonna play some music. Right in about 2 minutes, guys. Thanks very much. tune in next week. Live recording. We've got more great guests coming on board. And all of March is booked. I've got a guest coming. I got a guest from New Jersey that's going to be on board. Jersey John, who is an upcoming artist that you need to work with, Ty.
Yes, I'm always. I'll put it this way: I'm always down to do a collab with anybody. It doesn't matter.
Right. We talked about that. Yes. I think that's good to know. Is that he is up for a collab, guys. So all his links will be posted up on my Facebook.
Absolutely.
All of my podcasts, you'll can get a hold of them. All the artists out there, we'll get going on that. Other than that, guys, listen. I'm going to start spinning a set for you. I appreciate you coming on board. Thanks very much, guys. Peace out.
Rise up Mauritania, rise up Senegal, rise up Gambia, rise up Guinea-Bissau, rise up Sierra Leone, rise up Liberia, rise up Ivory Coast, rise up Ghana, rise up Togo, rise up Harlem, rise up Benin, rise up Brooklyn, rise up Nigeria, rise up Cameroon, Chicago, rise up Gabon, rise up Detroit, rise up Congo, rise up DC, rise up Algeria, South Central, rise up Mali, rise up Atlanta, rise up Niger, rise up Philadelphia, rise up Chad, rise up Roxbury, rise up Central, rise up Cleveland, rise up Sudan, rise up Selma, rise up St. Louis, rise up Zambia, rise up Botswana, rise up Tanzania, rise up Mozambique, rise up Princeton, rise up Tanzania, rise up Bahia, rise up Uganda, rise up Jamaica, rise up Trinidad, rise up Somalia, rise up Madagascar, rise up Algeria, rise up, 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 rise up.
With a girl like you Let's take it low. Drop it deep for me. Let's take it low. Hey, drop it deep for me. Let's take it low. Hey, drop it deep for me. Let's take it low, oh Lord. Drop it deep for me. Oh, sing along. Deep, 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 drop it deep. Hey, sing along. Deep, 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 drop it deep. Oh, sing along. Deep, 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 drop it deep.
The first time I see that girl, she was so fine. She bring me home and show me the magic, yeah. And I was like a little boy, boy, come on, sexy, 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 come on, sexy, 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 sexy. We was alone in the house. I said, lady, what you wanna drink? She said, do you speak French? I was like, wow, what the hell are you talking about? Come on, come on, come on, God, come on. If you want me, I can make you happy.
así. Oye, ¿cómo va? Oye, ¿cómo va? Cúcala, cúcala, cúcala.
And we are back. We are
Yeah.
back online. Ty Jackman Jones in the house tonight.
Yes.
House Uncorked episode 5, season 2. After my live set, which we are now, we're going to talk about just 5 minutes. We got till 10:30, so we got 1 hour. So, Ty, listen, I really want to thank you for coming on board tonight.
Appreciate it, man. Love being here.
You know, and we us DJs have to stick together,
Yes.
and we all share the same love for music. I hope you guys enjoyed the set from some good Latin house. We got Jackman doing some little grooves back in the side there. Maybe it might be.
Yeah, I
you
was
might have-
dancing a little bit.
You might have
there.
caught him on camera there.
Actually, I think the camera did catch me there a little bit.
It's all
Yeah.
good, man. It's the music just
It gets you going.
it gets you going.
Yeah, salsa does that for me all the time. Salsa, bachata, mostly salsa. It
does.
just grabs me. That's why I gravitated towards it when I was in the scene, because just a good salsa track, and
Right.
even if I'm like tired, I'm still gonna go out there and just get myself more tired. But I'm gonna enjoy myself to doing it. But
Nice.
yeah, it just gets me, just like a good house track gets me too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before we end this night off, Ty, I know we want to say a special couple shout outs.
Yes. So we mentioned the groove station, the guests I've had. I would be one guy that I did forget to mention is DJ Trade, who I have not met personally yet, but I've been talking to him online. He's a great guy. He's been doing it for about 25 years. He does mostly underground and garage house.
Right.
But he's been on my show. I've been on 2 of his shows actually, which one's gonna. I think they're both are gonna be. One's posted now. The other one's gonna be posted soon. He does something called the Garage House Digital Sessions. I did my first ever 2-hour live set.
Oh, nice. I
in
think I saw that
years.
online there on Facebook.
Yeah.
I saw that on there.
Yeah, I did that in years. It turned out really well. I was supposed to be back in
Sweet.
December, but unfortunately I had technical difficulties, but we fixed that. So it worked out fine. It was a great 2-hour set. And of course, for those of you who know me, I used to do a show way back for about 5 years called the Wednesday Night Shakedown. And that sort of happened. I'll tell this little story about that one. That happened by sort of happenstance because there's a gentleman that you may know. His name is DJ Excitement.
Right.
He had started I would say trolling me, but liking everything I was doing in my
Okay.
second year of DJing,
Right.
which I thought was great because I read up in his history and I knew about him when I was in Ottawa.
He's not a stalker. Let's say, okay.
He's not a stalker, but he was liking what I was doing.
Yeah.
So he came up with the concept of All Beats Radio, and I was actually helping him promote it. And then one day, he comes up and tells me, in the comments, so when are you going to do your own show on All Beats Radio? And I never really thought of that.
Right.
So I had a private conversation with him. Okay, so this is what I want to do. And the Wednesday Night Shakedown was born. So it was a 2-hour show live every night. Well, it used to be an hour and a half,
Okay.
and then I expanded to 2 hours. And I played EDM, house,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And then later on the years, I started refining it just to house and
Sure.
and putting on special guest DJs.
Right.
And then that's when it came to a point where I was doing it every Sunday. Entire day was devoted to the music and what I was going
Right.
to say and all that. So
Right.
that's when the concept of the Groove Station came about.
Okay.
And I really wanted to just stick into that
Right.
and just do pre-recorded shows where I do it for an hour, put
But
it
it's
on.
great though. I mean, you're on my House Music Radio. You're on
Yes.
housemusicradio.ca.
Yes.
The shows have been consistent. They've been great.
Yes.
I listen to it because it got different tracks, different people you announce, different DJs that you
Yeah.
promote, which is great because you're not only just promoting yourself, but you're giving love to the other guys that respect to the other DJs.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's about the music and the DJs and producers that come up with the music.
Right.
You know, I want people to go and they say, "Oh, what was that second track on your set?" It's like,
Right.
okay, this is what it was. Go check it out. It may
Right.
be on TrackSource or Beatport,
Absolutely.
or if you're a DJ, your favorite DJ pool, you might have it there. Go
Right.
check it out. Go
Right.
download it. And,
Absolutely.
you know, whatever. And that's the thing. That's what the Wednesday Night Shakedown was about. So now it's the Groove Station. So it's the same concept, only it's a smaller thing. But
Right.
you know, doing the Groove Station has been a lot of fun for me. I love doing it. And at one point, it wasn't every week. It was like every 2 weeks. And I was only doing it on Mixcloud. But then I heard about housemusicradio.ca, and I'm like, let's give this a little shot. And I was like, yes, put it on. And
Absolutely,
it
man.
worked out. It worked
Perfect.
out. And I'm also in the Netherlands on beatstodance.com as well every
Nice.
Saturday night
Awesome,
as well.
man. That's
2 p.m.
awesome.
to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, and that's been great as well, too. And I'm actually thinking of possibly putting it on another station. I haven't really
Right.
gotten to that yet.
Right.
But, you know, I do want to expand that and maybe something in the States or something like that or whatever. Because a lot of my listeners are either here in Canada or in Europe.
In Europe,
in
exactly.
the UK. And a big up to all my UK people who I've been talking to for
Right.
the last since November. You
Sure.
guys have been awesome. And another thing, you talked about how I was sharing everybody else's stuff. I wasn't doing that back in 2019. That was one thing I definitely wanted to change. So not just sharing the stuff from the UK, but sharing the stuff here.
Right.
Right. Sharing stuff that Mars Bars is doing,
Sure.
101's doing,
Absolutely, man.
Arcadia and Gene King
Yeah.
are doing,
Right.
and everybody else, and also the stuff from the UK, because I want
Right.
people to listen to stuff from the UK as well, or Derek the House from Mexico City, right?
Right.
So I started just sharing everything on my
And
page.
so be it, man.
Yeah.
That's sharing the love. I see Zoe is online. Tina is online. Hey,
Yeah.
girls, you guys have been awesome. Zoe, the rug was cut. So big up to Zoe, man. We
Big
love
up
her.
to Zoe, one of my
got-
favorite people. She's awesome.
Unbelievable. You know what? She is fantastic. All the girls. Listen,
Yeah.
I know you're gonna say Melanie.
Yeah.
Tina. All these girls, all these females, house people. They're fantastic friends. They're genuine.
Yes.
They're not materialistic. They are genuine people that enjoy the music, enjoy what we do. We enjoy what they do.
Oh,
Okay?
I you know what? I literally, the first time I saw Zoe play, I was like, it's like, where have you been all my life? type of thing. It's like, I heard about her, and then I met her at Sidewalk Cafe. She was talking with, with Joe Navarro, and we started talking about certain things
Sure.
or whatever. And I said, come play one of my things at Control Room. Amazing.
And that was it.
Her energy is so infectious. You gravitate towards
Right,
it, right?
right.
Same thing with Melanie. The way Melanie plays, two different styles, but it's what they do is so infectious. As a matter of fact, I met Melanie 3 years ago at a One Level 1 party on Halloween. She was dressed as Amy Winehouse, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right.
I
She had
can't
the big
forget
hair and
that.
everything. That was awesome. But then we got to find out that we had the similar musical tastes and what have you, and I worked well with both of them. So,
Right. Good,
like I said,
man.
two of my favorite people in the whole wide
That's
world right
listen.
now.
I mean, that's awesome, Zoe. You guys, you Zoe, have been awesome. I've seen, I've heard a lot about you, and I took your music under my wings, and we put you on my radio show. You have your own show on House Music Radio.
Absolutely.
She has some fucking killer sets going on.
Yeah, she does.
Along with everybody else on there, you know, Melanie. We have T Fox in New York. She has a great set on Saturday nights. It's all about the love, guys, and that's what we promote. We spread. We share the love.
Yes.
We're gonna end the podcast, but I want to really thank Jackman Jones for coming in tonight. I appreciate it. You've been a tremendous guest on sharing stories, knowing a lot of DJs that we all have respect for, and we're going to continue this journey for as long as we can.
Absolutely,
okay?
yeah.
As long as we
Absolutely.
can, and with the House Music Festival, with mental health awareness, which we are big advocates about.
Yes.
Your track that just came out, we're going to promote that on end of our podcast. All the links will be posted up by tomorrow. Bounce to this with
Chris
Hercules,
my man.
and we are about time. I appreciate everybody for coming on board, tuning in.
I do want to give one more shout out, though.
Okay.
I want to give one more shout out to my former duo partner, Melodica and Crossed Out. They're doing some big things right now. I actually just posted it on my page. I did miss the show, but I did catch some excerpts of it, and they're doing well. And I will be seeing you guys in the future, so I just want to give big shots out.
Awesome. And that's what's good about this podcast. We share the love. We talk about people. We talk about our business ventures, real raw talk. We got some great wine we had tonight.
Loving this wine.
This is Portuguese wine, Pedro's de Monte. It'll be on. It's at LCBO, $10.95. Man, I'm telling you, don't even think about the fucking price being an issue. You got to try it. That's what I like about my. I like what you guys are talking about with my shows, is because the fact that you like to see and what kind of wines we're sampling, we're tasting, we're indulging, right? So, guys, thanks very much, everyone who tuned in tonight. And we'll have this,
awesome.
We're going to be on our podcast live. Stay tuned next week, episode 6. We're halfway through season 2, and we're going to have more coming up and on our guests. Jack, man, you're going to be back on board,
I can't wait,
for a follow up.
I can't wait.
And I appreciate it, man.
Awesome.
And vice versa, man. Like, you know what? I enjoy coming to your gigs, to your parties. Control room, watching the girls do their thing, watching you guys, you do your thing.
Yeah.
You know what? We're all for the love of music, and it doesn't matter who you are, man. We all share the same passion. We share the same vibe and energy.
Yeah.
We don't promote ourselves. We promote everybody. And that, sometimes it is a great thing because you're promoting everybody. And people say, why are you promoting everybody? Why don't you promote yourself? Well, I don't care about that. Like, I mean, that will soon come when people listen on my podcast.
Yes.
On my radio shows and my radio stations. That's what I look at. I don't look at, you got to listen to DJ Dave. I'm not plugging that shit. I plug you guys. I love watching and hearing you guys play. And that's what promotes me to say, hey, that's why I want him as my guest. I want to know what you're up to. I want to know what's going on. What's going on in the music world. So that's why I do that. And everybody, I appreciate you coming on board. We've got lots to talk about. I'm sorry, but we run out of time, so we have to keep this podcast to a minimum. And we had great wine, great guest, Jack, man. Thanks very much for coming on board, man. This is awesome.
This was awesome.
This is awesome. Peace, everybody out there. You guys have been fantastic. And watch out online for Jackman Jones, House Music Radio. You're going to find a lot of house music places to be at. April 11th.
April 11th, and this Friday.
At Control Room.
Zoe, I know you're ready. Trickster, I know you're ready. And Brock Edwards, I know you're ready. I cannot wait.
Zoe says Control Room Friday.
Yes, Control Room Friday. I cannot wait.
We'll be there.
Bring that ting.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much, guys. Peace out, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.